Hi everybody, this is Alvito and welcome back to the Study and Work Abroad channel. What impact will studying abroad have on my career in India? This is a very valid question. It is asked by numerous students. I get this question asked vastly to me, and I'm going to try to address an answer to this question by giving you various aspects to it. So let's say you study in the US, the UK, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Germany, Ireland, wherever you choose to study. You complete your bachelor's or your master's, and then you come back to India. How do you showcase that degree to employers here in India? What weight does the degree carry? How can you manifest or how can you make good advantage of your foreign degree in India? First things first, the recognition of a foreign degree, especially when you study in an advanced country like the US, the UK, all the countries that I mentioned, is very valid and very highly recognized in India. You study from a good university in the US or the UK or Australia or New Zealand or Germany or Canada, a master's or a bachelor's degree is very highly valued by employers in India, especially those employers of multinational companies. So the JP Morgans and the Morgan Stanleys of the world will always value an overseas degree over an Indian degree. Even Indian companies that are multinational like TCS and Infosys and all of these large IT companies, of course, the Facebooks and the Googles in India always will value a US or a UK degree more than a degree in India. Understand that your degree should be recognized and internationally recognized. I do not recommend studying diplomas and then coming back to India because diplomas, let's say a diploma in Canada or a diploma in New Zealand, are valid for the country that you're in. But if you study a diploma and come back to India, it may not be that much valued in India. However, a bachelor's or a master's, a degree is definitely valued very highly as long as it is internationally recognized. And most degrees that are from the Western advanced countries are internationally recognized. Second, a global perspective. A lot of these multinational companies and Indians companies who are multinationals are looking for candidates who have a global perspective, who've got an exposure of the world from outside of India. So when you study in the US or the UK, all of these advanced countries, you will be in a cohort or a classroom that is global again. So you will create networks, you will understand cultures, you will understand business processes. Your degree itself has a global perspective to it. Degrees in India will have an Indian perspective, but when you study overseas, you will have a global perspective. So that is what is very highly valued by Indian employers in India. The next very important point that you can consider is stronger connections. Multinational companies in India, as well as Indian multinationals, are looking for candidates who have got global connections. Now, a student who has studied abroad has obviously created good global connections, both with peers, with colleagues, with their alumni, with their professors, even in their part-time jobs at their workplaces where they would have worked overseas, and they are bringing those connections to India, to the Indian companies. So that is another factor that the employers look for in India when they are trying to employ graduates from abroad. So another factor that Indian companies are looking at is your language improvements. So if you spend 2, 3, 4 years in the US or the UK or an English country, obviously your language is going to be stronger, your vocabulary is stronger, your way of presentation, your manner of presentation, the way you deal with people, the way you greet them, the way you socialize with them, various factors with what we call soft skills is what employers are looking for in India. I've had students and their parents coming back to me and saying, I've become a different product. And that is what studying abroad does to you. It makes you a different person, a different product for employers who are looking for a globally recognized individual in India. Then there are other factors on the soft skills front, your flexibility and your ability to deal with different kinds of people, adjust to different kinds of situations, because employers know you've lived by yourself 2 or 3 or 4 years abroad. Your ability to adapt, to travel, to adjust to different situations, different conditions, deal with multiple cultures, deal with multiple kinds of people. All of that is already inbuilt in you because of your exposure overseas. Another very important factor is cross-cultural skills. By that I mean because you've interacted and you've acquired knowledge and been exposed to different cultures, You're going to be able to manage different kinds of cultures, different kinds of people, especially if you're working in a job that has global exposure. You're managing multiple markets, multiple continents. So your abilities with managing cross cultures is what impacts your career in India. So these are just a few points that will impact your career in India from a degree overseas. However, it is very important for you to be able to manifest or to showcase or to be able to implement what you have got abroad. Okay, when I talk about you being a different kind of person, when you go to an interview, when you're sitting across the table with employers, you have to be able to manifest and be able to show to them and to prove to them all the abilities and skills, whether it's cultural skills, cross cultural skills, interpersonal skills, language skills, your global perspective, your thinking on managing people. All of that has to be able to be manifested in a job interview. So it's very important to also put it down on your resume, but be able to manifest it in a job interview when you're meeting employers. We at Study and Work Abroad have had numerous students who've gone abroad and have had to come back for various reasons, family reasons, cultural ties to India, and they managed to launch themselves into really good careers. When they compare themselves to their peers who studied in India, they're at another level, they're at another sphere altogether in the professional realm. So do consider these points. A lot of parents have this question, which is a very, very valid question. I hope this video has given you some perspective and given you some idea of how a degree from abroad will have an impact in India. Now, I spoke about having an impact in India. You have to understand international degrees are recognized all over the world. So, whether you're working back in India, in your destination country, or in another third country or some other countries. What do I mean by that? Let's say you studied in the US and you want to look for a job in Europe or the UK or Australia, that degree is going to be valid there too because employers do value degrees from top countries, from advanced countries. So, not only will you become a good product for the Indian market, you will also become a good product for multiple different markets because of your global perspective and you just becoming a global product. Thank you for listening. Look out for my next video and I'll see you soon.